But people worry about stereotypes, and they're right to do so. Stereotypes have several problems. So one is they actually are not always accurate. We often tend to exaggerate them. And in part, this is due to the sort of confirmation bias that we talked about earlier in this section, which is that once you have an idea in your head, due to the processes of a desire for confirmation or more general cognitive dissonance forces, you tend to look for things that prove your idea is right. So if you think that African Americans are aggressive, you'll keep an eye out for cases where you see African Americans who are aggressive and say, that supports my idea. But when you see counterexamples, you tend to ignore them. Same if you believe that librarians are quiet or unattractive, or that male homosexuals are aggressive and pushy, Jews are greedy and conniving. Once you have a stereotype in your head, it's like the confirmation bias, it's like the first impression. It's hard to shake, and this could lead to getting things wrong. A second consideration is that a lot of the information we get about groups isn't from an unbiased statistical sample. It's not like we're scientists looking at the data and accumulating information to lead to reliable statistical conclusions about a group. Often, for instance, we get our data from the media or from fiction. If all you know about Jews is from Shakespeare's character Shylock, you're not going to have a very good impression from them. If all you know about Italian Americans is from the TV show The Sopranos, similarly, that's going to have bad effects. So people know about this. There's actually considerable pressure, moral pressure, I guess, to portray different sort of exemplars of individuals, to change stereotypes, to make people think differently about what people are and what people are capable of being. My favorite example is when I was a kid, there was a TV show called Battlestar Galactica, and this was Starbuck, who was the brave warrior, fighter, adventurer. In the remake, more recently, they changed the characters, of course, and now this is Starbuck. And you could see how this could make a difference, how this could change people's stereotypes for the better and change how they see the world. Also, we're very trigger happy with forming different groups. So we naturally take groups seriously when there really are differences, but we also naturally take groups seriously when the groups are arbitrary. And this is the best example is some wonderful research by the social psychologist Henri Tajfel, who studied minimal groups. And in his classic experiment, he got people to, he had people do a test. And in the test, they were told that they were either lovers of the artwork of Klee or lovers of the artwork of Kandinsky. Now, this was entirely arbitrary, entirely made up. People were just randomly assigned to different groups. But what he found was that people imbued their groups with identity. They favored their own group. If you were a Klee lover, you'd rather give money to another Klee lover than a Kandinsky lover. You might think that Klee lovers are in certain ways better than Kandinsky lovers, just by dint of the group splitting up and you belonging to one and not the other. Other studies have found the same effect through a flip of a coin. And there's been some fascinating work with children, toddlers, and even younger children in some studies, finding that the wearing a red T-shirt versus a blue T-shirt causes the population to schism into two different groups and to think differently about the groups, favoring the one they belong to and disfavoring the one they don't. And the moral here then is that when we develop ideas about human groups, when we develop stereotypes, we don't just passively absorb the statistics, we actively distinguish between groups. We seem to be built with a hair trigger sensitivity to break the world up into us versus them and to favor the group containing us over the group containing them.